Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dallying a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about the updates of the Tulsa Massacre. And then we're going to be talking about Fembots. Don't know what that is? Just listen. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. A lot of stuff going on out there in the world. A lot of things that we could dilly-dally about.
Yeah.
But I start off with just, what's up with you?
School starts back up tomorrow.
Okay.
So getting ready to be extremely busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually doing a really cool semester project with a local rehab facility that cares for stroke victims. So I will be doing some data analysis for them. So that's pretty cool. It's a lot going on, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the new semester.
I wonder, since you're down there in Atlanta working for that, is that the same place where Jamie Foxx was?
So he actually was taken to a facility in Chicago.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. He was in Chi-Town.
Yeah, he was in Chi-Town.
Our neck of the woods.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's cool. Seems like you got some exciting stuff going on. You know, the audience really loves you, so we like to give them little updates about what it is. And like they like you better than they do me. It's like, when your sister gonna be on the show? I'm like, every week. every week.
Every week I'm here. The episode comes out every day. So
no, not the same time every day. Don't.
I mean, every day of the week.
Yeah, every day of the week.
That one day.
I hung out with my bestie last night and we had a really dope time. She came over and she was like, what do you want to do? I said, nothing. I'm still recovering from my trip down to Atlanta. She was like, so we're not going to go anywhere. I'm like, I'm not getting up off this couch. Perfect. She's like, perfect.
Okay, so y'all were both on the same page.
Yeah. We were on the same page.
Okay.
Look, we getting up there. But we have said that we're going to be out in the streets, that we're going to routinely get out there in these streets.
Okay.
Get back out here on this dating scene for real.
Okay.
And we had an interesting conversation about dating apps. And I got off of dating apps years ago. Won't get back on them. And she was talking about them. And she was talking about how, and it's not gender specific. I think this is a male and female issue. But she was talking about how men are, or people in general, are just not decisive when it comes to online dating. I was like, yeah, no, online dating, I've always equated it to lazy dating, because you can sit on your couch and try to meet people, but all you're really doing is you're scrolling through, you're finding out first, are you physically attracted to the person? And then maybe you'll actually read the profile. But most of the time, if the person that is receiving a message, the other person may have just skimmed the profile and you're just messaging all the time. And then people get into these messaging relationships where they're talking every single day, and it's like, yo, we need to, like, are you ready to meet up? And a lot of times people are just like, yeah, let's do it, and then ghost, because people aren't really looking to really connect. What they're looking to do is fill the time because they're lonely
and bored.
Yes, lonely and bored. And I had a conversation with a friend, female friend of mine, when I was out in Atlanta, and they were like, how are you loving Atlanta? Have you been going out? And I was like, nah, I'm just been chilling. And like, you should go out and meet some girls. And I was like, why would I go out and meet girls in Atlanta? I don't live in
here.
Atlanta. Well, just so you can have somebody to talk to and hang out. I was like, oh, you mean waste somebody's time, waste somebody and my time. And they, without thinking, and I was like, think about what you just said. Think about how toxic and problematic that is.
Yeah. No, I know. I know people who are on these dating apps so that they can go to dinner. You know, like I know people who are like, I get a free meal out of it. It's cool. You know, I refuse to get on it. I was on I think, Hinge for about 36 hours before I got overwhelmed and got off. And then
not 36, not a day and a half.
And I'm just literally, that was it. That was all I could take. And but the issue is like my age, I'm 40. Like I'm still 40. Like, but some of the guys are, 40, like it's a different, and I'm not ready to date somebody's pawpaw like yet,
we're at this weird age where if you never had kids, you're still very young and vibrant.
Yes.
If you have kids now, I've dated some single moms that are still about hanging out and having a good time. So that's like, you can still be young. But I remember one time I was dating a single mom. We are literally the same age. She is 3 months younger than me. Mm-hmm. And I was wearing these jeans. The jeans were very trendy.
Yeah.
Right. But they were like not stonewashed, but like high. They were like blue jeans, but they were like light colored blue jeans. But they were definitely trendy. Like I remember you and my goddaughter and a couple other people like, oh, I really like those jeans. Those jeans look tight. And she was like, why are you wearing those 1980s jeans? And I was like, oh God, you don't realize this is
the trend.
This is what's happening
because
now.
You don't get out.
Because I was like, she gets out, but
going to get coffee from time to time with a friend, going to get a cocktail or something with a friend. That's not being in the streets.
No, that's not being in the streets.
And it's not knowing what's going on. Like, and if I use some slang or something, you don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of the people that I was seeing like had not just kids, but like grown kids. So like they were like, just done. And really, honestly, it feels like a lot of people are looking for a nurse.
Hey, I'm gonna be real honest with you.
And I'm just not down with it.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I have some friends who are in their early 30s and they haven't done the whole marriage thing. See, me and my bestie had been married, had done the wedding and done that whole thing. So that's not even what we're looking for. If it happens, great. But what we're looking for is a partner that we can literally have a partner, right?
Yes,
and for me, it goes back to that old Sinbad joke. I just want somebody to recognize the signs of stroke.
I mean, and to a certain extent, like that's real. Like the conversations I would have would be like, what's your blood pressure? How's your cholesterol? Do you wear your CPAP every night to sleep? Like, like, but it's like also a part of me still feels very young and doesn't want to have these conversations. So I was like, you know what? Plus, I could tell nobody was reading my profile because it says on there that I was an avid gardener, and a lot of their profiles, the people I match with, are like, no to gardening and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, so you didn't read my profile at all? Because I try to be upfront of like, because some people obviously don't like that. And, but I was just like, okay, y'all not even reading my profiles. I can't. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, no, people do not read the profiles. And I used to throw a trick in mine, right? I used to say either make an outrageous comment that would be intriguing to the person and that they would be like, what do you mean by this?
Yeah.
Or I would put a math equation on there. If you read my profile, please solve this math equation. And it'd be something simple like 5 times 3 equals what? Just something simple. And if I got a message and there was no math equation, like the answer wasn't in there, I was like, oh, so you didn't read my profile.
Right.
You just saw my pictures. Yeah, you just saw my pictures.
And then I know a lot of people is it swiping right when you want when it's a yes? Okay. I know a lot of people will swipe right on everybody just to see who they match with.
Wow.
And then filter that way.
So I was I was having a conversation and with my bestie, and I was like, let's just go out in the streets, because I feel like, one, I don't want to have those daily conversations of how was your day? What'd you do today? Blah, blah. That is boring.
I don't want to have that in person.
Right. And
so I definitely don't want to do it through an app.
I don't know when this happened, but I don't want no good morning text message. Don't good morning text message me or good night until we in a relationship.
But also I'm not a morning person, so I don't want to see it. And then when I see it and then I have to like respond, like I'm already angry because because it's the morning and I got to get up. The dogs have woken me up or something. I got to get up for school, something like that. So I'm already not in a good mood. And then you get hey, good morning, queen of the I'm just like, okay, I don't want to
don't big up me in the morning. Don't I don't
want to see it. I don't want to see it. I can't be the only person that feels that way. Some people I know get annoyed with good morning texts.
I think, and this is a conversation once again I was having with my bestie, a key determination if you are interested in the person, if you like the person, is if things that normally annoy you, when they do it, it doesn't annoy you. That means that at the very least, you are interested in them. And I think that's a starting point. I know there have been, I'm gonna be honest, the very last girlfriend that I had, and we dated for almost a year, I was trying to bail on that first date, and it was my bestie saying, don't bail. Like, I was not interested. Like, I was, but I wasn't. I was like, take it or leave it, which is kind of how I am in life anyway. I could just take it or leave anything. But I was kind of like, take it or leave it. And it just so happened that we had a connection. But a lot of people out here, like you say, is doing that lazy dating. They're bored. They need something to do. And a lot of people out here ghosting, which, by the way, is the weakest form of human response that you could ever have.
It's pretty terrible. Just come up with a little thing that you leave in your notes app where it's like, hey, I had a great time with you. I don't see this working out. Something, whatever, some nice way of saying it that you just copy and paste. It's not that hard, y'all. Like, what do you think people are going to do? Nobody's going to do anything. Like, just, I mean, I guess there's some psychos out there that do something, but like, honestly, leave it alone. But my friend. No, tell your story first.
Okay, all right.
Actually, I might say this for the after hours.
Okay, all right. We're gonna say story for the after hours. Let me write my notes now because I'm starting.
Let me write that down.
Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to listen to the After Hours Uncensored or Talking Straight-ish, it's on our Patreon page at patreon.com something.
Just pay pretty.
Patreon.com/unsolicited perspectives is where you can find our Patreon page, or just go on unsolicitedperspectives.com and click that Patreon link button and it'll take you straight there. So going back to the story that I want to tell about, hey, just being upfront and honest with somebody. So you're on dating sites to meet people, which means that you're going out on dates. You might be going out on dates with 2 or 3 people at the same time. That's what you're doing.
That's what dating is. I think a lot of people don't understand. When you're dating, you're going on dates, and it's not always the same person. It's called dating. It's called casual dating.
That's what it was. So I was casually dating, and I met this young lady on the site, and it just so happened that I had dated, if not her best friend, a really, really good friend of hers.
Okay.
And so I messaged her, but then she like updated her pictures, and then I went on her profile because we were still messaging through the app, and I looked at the updated pictures and I said, "Oh snap! Like, do you know this person?" And it was like, "Yeah, it's one of my good friends." I was just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I don't know how this feels. I don't know how you feel about this, but I used to date her." She was like, "Okay." So she talked to her friend and she was like, "Bruce is great. You should definitely go date." So I got the cosign, which also lets me know I'm never the problem. But anyway.
Okay. That's what you got from that.
That's what I got from that. So we start hanging, we start chatting, and we're planning on going on a date, but something happened. Something family related happened. And I had to go down to Richmond. And so I had to cancel the date, and they were just like, "Well, hey, you're coming back tonight. I'll just stop by your place. Let's just meet up." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of like an important issue. I don't know how I'm going to be emotionally and mentally, but like, definitely if I'm up for it, definitely." I wasn't up for it. So we had set up another time to go on a date. And I'd been going on a couple of dates with this other young lady. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of put my focus in on this person. We're vibing, and I really want to see what this is like. So I messaged the young woman that I hadn't gone on a date yet with. This is a key point. Had not gone on a date yet with her.
Okay. Had not met in person.
Had not met in person at all.
Okay.
And I sent her a message like, hey, I really think you're a dope person. I just want to let you know that I've decided to sort of see somebody exclusively, like just focus in on this one person dating because we really made a connection. I wish you all the best. You're a dope person, but I don't want to lead you on when I'm going to be doing something else. It was something to that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
She came back with, well, you shouldn't have been talking to me in the first place. Blah, 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 blah. This is ignorant. This is the reason why I don't like messing with guys like you. Y'all are liars. I was like, I didn't lie about,
you're not my girlfriend. Guys, what are you doing out here? We're messaging on an app. My life still continues on when I'm not on this app. Like, you're not my girlfriend. We have not met in person. Like, there's nothing. Huh? Okay.
Well, I know what it was. This ain't the After Hours Uncensored, but I'm gonna say it. I know what it was. Her friend co-signed. Her friend co-signed, right? And she was like, "Hey, I'm trying to see what that talk about. Try to see what that's about. I'm trying to see what that's about." And then I pulled back, and it was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this other thing," and she got upset. She was really looking forward to it because she was really gonna make serious concessions to come and see me. And I was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna date this other person because I actually gone on several dates with her, and I want to see what's up." Now, it didn't work with that other person. I made a horrible mistake.
Okay. I mean, it happens.
And I'm going to tell the story of the woman that bucked at me, her friend, the reason why me and her stopped dating. But I got to save that for the after hours.
Okay. I'm writing that down too.
That's another one we got to save for the after hours. But finishing up this dilly dad and settling, because I want to get to serious topics, but I want to just broach this real fast because I thought it was fascinating. I had been on you since the show started to start watching the Equalizer. When I was down there in Atlanta, we were binging it together.
I'm still binging it.
Because I absolutely love the Equalizer TV show. This is the one, ladies and gentlemen, Queen Latifah. I guess it's on Netflix. That's the reason why. There's been a lot of social media talk on Netflix, on Twitter about the show, and it is everybody dragging her, saying it is so unbelievable. The fight scenes are ridiculous, and that nobody can believe the fact that she is actually the Equalizer. And I'm like, the show is great. I don't know what everybody is talking about.
First of all, y'all, it's in its 5th season, so you are way too late for these for these critiques. Second of all, no, it's 100% believable. I'm sorry that she knows how to use a gun and that she knows how to fight. Why is it not believable? Because she's thick? Huh? Oh, you don't see her running? First of all, she'll do a quick sprint. This is not like she be chasing people blocks and blocks. Okay, so that's the first thing. It'd be a quick sprint, and I think it's because of her age and her size, and that's the only reason why y'all don't think she could be the Equalizer. But funny thing, she is, and she has been for 5 seasons now.
It can't be her age, because the original Equalizer TV show, he was 75 years old. I'm exaggerating, but he was old, and Denzel ain't young. So it's not the age.
It is the age. It is because there is a difference between men getting older and women getting older in society.
She doesn't look old. She looks young on the show.
But everybody still knows she's over 50, right? Like, so, I mean, everybody still knows that. And so, but like, I think it's her age. I think it's her size. Yeah, she's 54.
And it's a woman?
And she's a woman, and she's a Black woman, but no.
It'd be Black people talking about this, Black men. Actually, no, some Black women talking about it as well. Like, I don't believe it.
Right, because again, people can also still be caught up in patriarchy
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
that's not surprising when it be your own people that talk that kind of mess. But no, I love the show. The show is fantastic. I think it is believable. Have I come across some episodes where I'm like, okay, now hold it, y'all go, y'all doing too much. Pull
There
it
was a
back.
scene. There was a scene that was getting traction on Twitter about her fighting 3 dudes with a scarf. I haven't seen it, but Mike
I
Epps
haven't
is in that
seen it.
episode, and I was like, "Oh, I definitely need to watch this
Yeah, I'm
episode."
definitely gonna watch that. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, okay. There are some times that where I'm like, all right.
Like, all right, okay. But
Yeah.
Denzel also took on his own commando team and
Right.
Equalizer 2 and 1
Right.
during a hurricane.
With I believe no weapon. Like I don't
No,
think
he
he
had
had,
some weapons. He
but
did
I
some
mean
Home Alone trap in this
yeah,
whole
like
city.
like he did
Spoiler
that. Like
alert.
it wasn't like he was rolling around with an AK, you know what I'm saying, taking
Who
bugs
goes around
out.
with an AK anymore?
I don't know.
This ain't the 1990s Compton. Oh,
I
your
didn't have
friend
to
gonna
use
kill
my
me on that one.
AK.
Right.
Today was a good day. I don't know, but it wasn't like, I mean, it was still like, makeshift weapons or whatever was handy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still, you ain't really, Denzel didn't run. He walked slowly and casually into every situation, and he sat down. You ever notice he was always in a chair? You make it work. You make it work. And the thing is, it's not like the Equalizers of the past where she's doing it alone, essentially. She's not. She has an entire team.
Right.
The NYPD is behind it. Hell, even the district attorney is her girl now. So it's like she got a whole team of people plus her CIA resources. It's not like she's doing this by herself. So it just, y'all, please just watch this. It's okay for you to believe a little bit of fantasy every once in a while. Like, I feel like it's okay. And also, big people, we capable, I say we capable of more than what y'all think. I know thick girls that are yoga instructors that they do,
I've hired them. Yoga and Zumba instructors, I've hired them.
Yes. They be on the doing the pole classes and flipping and flipping all around that pole.
I don't know what that is, but okay, but I get
the pole where you can
no. I don't know what word that you use, and this is the only time that I've been able to call you out for saying some word that don't make no sense.
Because I don't know but I've only taken one class before. It was too hard, and I never went back. And so I don't know the technical term for all the flips and floops, okay? But they be doing it.
That's what it was. I don't know what the floops is.
They're out there as dancers. You've seen them as backup dancers. Hell, all of Lizzo's backup dancers are plus size.
Lizzo.
Like the fact that you think just because somebody big that means that they can't throw a punch, that's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And shut up.
Oh, okay. Hey, shut up from my sister. Shut up. But on that note, we're going to get to a more serious topic, talking about Black people.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about the Tulsa Massacre and the Justice Department's new findings. We're going to get into that next. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Justice Department just released a new report on the Tulsa Massacre. The results from the review under the Emmett Till Unsolved Civil Rights Crimes Act. If y'all don't know who Emmett Till is, Jesus, you really should. That's American history. Look it up and Google it, and just there are images of. Let's move on because it's going to depress me. But what the report says, it describes the massacre as a systematic attack on the Greenwood community. So there's a little historical context. The massacre occurred from May 31st to June 1st in 1921, involving up to 10,000 white residents against an entire Black community. It was triggered by unfounded allegations by Dick Rowland, which were sensationalized by the local media. Typically, if you hear anything about any of these type of massacres, it is always a unfounded allegation against a Black man, typically towards a white woman. That's what it's always about. The findings and acknowledgments emphasize the massacre's brutality and its classification as a coordinated attack rather than mob violence. How is it a coordinated attack? Police officers deputized white men, drunk white men, during a Tulsa Race Massacre. Once again, remember, they're drunk white men that are riled up through sensationalized local media advertising an unfounded accusation against a black man. Okay, this is all important information to understand. This action, by them deputizing these drunk white men, the action significantly contributed to the escalation of violence against the black community in Greenwood, as tensions escalated on the evening of May 31st, 1921, when a white mob gathered to demand the lynching of Dick Rowland. The Tulsa police took controversial measures. Instead of protecting Black Americans in this area, the local law enforcement officials enlisted members of the white mob as deputies. Eyewitnesses' accounts reveal that to the police, okay? States that the prosecution is, this report also states that the prosecution is no longer possible due to expired statutes of limitation and the absence of living perpetrators. But, you know, we are still trying to right the wrongs of the past. There's been talks of reparations by state representatives in Oklahoma. Virginia Goodwin is one of those involved. There's been acknowledgments of prior legislation efforts that recognize the moral responsibility without direct reparations as well. In the aftermath of this massacre, while many residents were left homeless due to the destruction of their neighborhood, the community began the difficult process of rebuilding. African Americans in Tulsa and across the country rallied to provide assistance and resources to devastated victims. So basically what this report, there's a lot in this report, but everybody always thought, and when I learned about that, I thought it was a mob that was just like got riled up and went crazy. But no, this was more of a calculated effort by the police department in Tulsa during the time to deputize these white men to go and raid the homes, kill people in this community. By the way, for those that don't understand what Tulsa was, this was called Black Wall Street. It was a thriving Black community. And this isn't the only instance of something like this happened. There are many instances of Black Americans thriving in the late 1800s and early 1900s in their own cities, and people in the surrounding areas jealous and destroyed and bombed these cities to take away from Black Americans. And it's great that this information is being released. It's also 100 years too late.
Yeah. And what is important to understand also about Tulsa is that they had an ordinance mandating residential segregation. So even though the Supreme Court declared it unconstitutional the following year, I mean, they still maintained those segregated neighborhoods. So imagine you're a segregated neighborhood. You're thinking as a white person, ain't no way the Black side of town doing well.
Yeah.
And then you look over and you see a bunch of Black professionals, doctors, dentists, lawyers, serving the community. They got their own grocery stores, newspapers, movie theaters. Like they're living their lives well and doing well. I mean, the tension in the town, I'm sure, was already at its peak, right? And then you have this incident with Dick Rowland, which was not an incident.
Right.
He just got into an elevator and there was a white elevator operator. They probably knew each other because he was employed in the same building as a shoe shiner. Like they probably knew each other. But and it really doesn't. They just said they found her in a distraught state. And then they thought that she had been assaulted. But the thing is, did anybody ask her? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then of course, Dick Rowland, of course, denied it, but that's the precipice of this whole situation. And it's like you said, it's always based on some unfounded allegation. And just this feeling of, if they have, then we don't have, because this is a zero-sum game.
So when I brought this up,
so it wasn't, I say all that to say it had nothing to do with that young girl.
No, there's a bigger issue. There was a reason why I brought all this up, because as I was reading the story, I was like, yeah, and like the reports that came out to release, I was reading, I was like, yeah, and like none of this surprises me. I've had conversations with, I've had conversations with kind of people that I know, and then I've had conversations with internet trolls. And they are so quick to say, Black people are always claiming the victim. Everything should be based off of merit. And so I take that argument, and this is the reason why I brought up this topic. I take this argument of merit-based success, right?
Yeah.
And how there are groups of people out there, and they're not all white men, right? It's not always white men. Sometimes it's men, because women are making impressive progress, right?
Yeah.
That are surpassing men in both academics and the workforce, even though not salaries, but all these things.
But right? Entrepreneurship, for sure.
Entrepreneurship, all this stuff. And people always talk about things should be based on merit. This is a lot of what response I get. Stop playing a victim. This was 100 years ago. Okay, well, let me tell you how things build and progress. So you have us being released from bondage. With never given the 40 acres and a mule, never given land, none of that stuff.
Nothing. Yes.
If you were lucky, you found some way to become an indentured servant, somehow paid yourself out of indentured servitude, even though that was illegal, but it still happened. Paid yourself out of indentured servitude. You bought yourself some land, and maybe your land was prosperous. Maybe more prosperous than your neighbors who did not look like you. And what they would do is they would poison your mules or destroy your land, or just straight up take your land. Okay. Yeah. So every time there's progression in North Carolina, right after Civil War, during Reconstruction, there were a lot of Black people who were voted to the legislator, not just statewide, but also federal. They rewrote the rules because they were like, all these Black people can't be in Congress, state or federal, right? So every time there's progress, there's always a pushback. Yeah. When people talk about merit and they talk about affirmative action and quotas and DEI, this is what they're really saying. What they're really saying is, I think that I'm special. You can't compete with me. You're being given an advantage. That's not the case. Right. What's happening is these people are being given an opportunity. You're not special. You're either average or, guess what, mediocre. When you're competing against a smaller pool, because there are limitations to people of color and women.
Yes.
That are not being able to be included in this competition for progress.
Right.
When you are limiting that pool of people, you might stand out. Your mediocreness might stand out.
Yeah.
But when you expand that pool and you're competing against other people of color and women, you might find out, oh, I'm not that special. And that's what's essentially happened. I had a friend, a lot of white people will say, I'm poor. I grew up poor and I pulled myself up. And I'm like, hey, that's great. Let me explain to you my lineage and my family. You are the first generation in our family, our cousins, first generation in our family being born with all of our rights. That means our parents were not born with all of our rights. Let me tell you what our paternal grandfather did, who, by the way, did not graduate high school. He had to go to work. He only had a 10th grade education. He raised 3 kids. Of those 3 kids, all of them got their college degree. 2 of them got their masters. From that lineage, there are multiple college graduates and things of that nature. Us, our parents who were not born with their rights, both college graduates, our father with a master's degree, our brother, 2 degrees, you getting your master's degree, me, I have 2 degrees. Guess what? We're actually exceptional. I'm sorry that if your family, with every opportunity that's been given to them in this country, weren't successful.
It's not even it's not even.
Let me finish this thought.
Go ahead.
You see progress. So that's what this was. This was Tulsa. This was Black Wall Street. This was progress and success. And it was jealousy because the people that were in the surrounding areas who didn't have that didn't want to admit it, but had to come to the realization that you're just not special.
Yeah.
That you've been lied to.
Yeah.
And that you're either average or mediocre. And I'm sorry to give people out there that realization. I'm sorry to tell you, you're not that special. But guess what? You're not. And it's not solely about opportunities. And I understand that there are white people out there. There's a circle of poverty that you've grown up in poverty, and it is hard to pull yourself up. It is absolutely hard. It's even harder to pull yourself up when you have laws specifically set against you. Laws trying to make.
Yeah. And it's I want to be clear when we talk about opportunity for white people, and they're thinking, no, I grew up poor, my parents are uneducated, we grew up in a rural area, we're farm folks or whatever, we don't have any opportunities. That's not what we mean by opportunity. What we mean by opportunity is that your race is not a deterrent for the things that you want to do.
Exactly.
Our race in this country is a deterrent. Our gender is a deterrent for what we want to do. Our gender identity or sexual identity or ability or age or religion, these are deterrents in this country from doing the things that we want to do. And so what we're asking for, or what we're simply seeking, is a level playing field where all of us get the opportunity to do the thing. All of us have the opportunity to do the things that we want to do, not hindered by things that are outside of our control. I'm not saying that poverty in this country, to be poor in this country is extremely expensive. And anybody who knows, anybody who's been broke like me knows knows that you got to put down payments for everything from your lights to your auto insurance. That if you're poor in this country, they make it so expensive for you to live. And especially if you live in a red state that didn't expand Medicare, it makes it impossible for you to get government assistance. It's even more difficult to pull yourself up. Your schools are underfunded. Hospitals are underfunded. It is incredibly difficult, and no one is saying that it is not. It is incredibly difficult to pull yourself up out of poverty. But when it's compounded with racial and gender inequities, it becomes that much more impossible. So we're just saying, I'm not asking you to give me anything. I'm not asking you to give me anything. What I'm asking you to do is stop keeping me from things because of my race, because of my gender, because of my ability or my age or any of these things. I want you to stop closing the doors as soon as you see a Black person walk up. If you let me in the room, I can show you what I can do. But you got to let me in the room. You let everybody else in the room, you're closing the door on me because I'm a woman. That's the only point. And if you as a white person can look at me and tell me the ways in which your race has hindered you from opportunity, I would love to have that conversation. But until you can tell me definitively in the ways in which you being a white person has kept you from something, I don't want to hear it. Unless it's because you ain't feel comfortable at the Million Man March or something like that. But that's on you. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that.
Well, I mean, they say that we have more rights than them. I don't know what rights these are, but
no, you got to understand at the founding of this country, you were given rights.
Mm-hmm.
To life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That other people at the founding of this country, you were given rights. It's boy.
Given
that
land.
GI Bill
people were
sure was helpful.
Land to be prosperous. Yeah.
For a lot of you boomers.
Oh, but the black soldiers had the GI Bill too. No, they did not. It was under the discretion of the states.
Yes.
It was under the discretion of the states.
They came back home a lot of times to nothing.
Nothing. And I just want to say this. You said white people, and yes, but also men.
Yes.
Because this isn't solely a conversation. I didn't want to solely have this conversation about us as black people in this country. I wanted to also have the conversation about women in this country. Now, women, y'all voted against your interests. So some of y'all really voted against your interests. So hey, it is what it is. But also these men out here that are attacking these women, saying that, women don't need us anymore because they're out here getting jobs and they're doing better than us. They've been given all opportunities. First of all, they weren't given no opportunities.
It wasn't given, Jack.
America just took her foot off of the neck of women. But
they still kept a hand on her ass.
Well,
so please know that we still we just now getting that hand off, and really not really.
Not really. And yes, when men are only competing against men, you might think that you're special because you excel in that group. However, once again, when you expand the players,
listen,
in the game, you find out, hey, maybe I'm not that smart.
Everybody can have a nice jump shot, but that first time you get dunked on.
I don't think that was the proper analogy.
Listen,
but okay.
But everybody think, oh, I got this sweet jump shot, and then
everybody think they can play.
MJ sails over you and dunks that ball, and then you just like, I'm in a different league.
Right. Like you might be the man on the court in your neighborhood. I learned this when I started traveling, right? When I was playing basketball and I started traveling. Being in Lynchburg, Virginia, I'm it.
Yeah.
I am it in Lynchburg, Virginia. Can't nobody really see me in Lynchburg, Virginia. Then I started expanding just in Virginia. I went down to this little town in Danville, Virginia. And this dude, same height, same age, crossed me up and dunked. And I said, oh, okay. I got to step up my game. I realized I wasn't the toast of the state like I thought I was.
Right.
I was expanded, introduced to an expansion of other people to compete against, and realized I needed to step my game up. I didn't say that it was unfair, that they were better.
You didn't Nancy Kerrigan him.
Right. No, that was Tanya Harding.
I'm not saying you didn't hit him. You didn't.
Yeah, Tanya Harding hit Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, but I'm saying you didn't Nancy Kerrigan him. You didn't take him out. That wasn't your response.
I think the reference that but Nancy Kerrigan was the one that was taken out.
Right. You didn't Nancy Kerrigan him.
It would be Tanya Harding.
No, you're Tanya Harding. You're Nancy Kerrigan and he's Nancy Kerrigan.
Right. Okay. So that means I'm Tanya Harding because Tanya Harding is the one that
basically the point is it doesn't matter if I said Tanya or Nancy. Everyone got the reference if they were alive in that time.
But a lot of people that are listening.
You did, and the thing is,
that's not alive.
If I said Tanya Harding, everybody might not have gotten it. But because I said Nancy Kerrigan, anybody who could have gotten it did get it.
No, I think look, why can't you just admit that you was wrong?
No, you didn't Nancy Kerrigan him. I still stand by it.
And the people in the comments, kill her because it's Tanya Harding. It's always been Tanya Harding.
I know that Tanya Harding was the perpetrator and Nancy was the victim. I know that.
Okay.
You didn't Nancy Kerrigan him.
Okay,
period. That's what I wouldn't say. No, you didn't Nancy Kerrigan. I said what I said.
This debate is making me lose air in my body. So let's move on.
I said what I said, damn it. I don't even know why I brought that up. The point is, your response to him wasn't violence towards him. It was your response to him was improving yourself.
Yes, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, stop. If anybody is playing the victim, it's all the people that are playing the victim saying, don't play the victim.
If anybody is the snowflake, it's the person calling people snowflakes.
Yes. And so white people and men of all colors, all races, okay, stop attacking and dragging these women just because these women are out here going and getting it.
Yeah.
If you feel like the only thing that you could bring to the table, going back to dating, the only thing that you can bring to the table in a heterosexual relationship is your money, then brother,
ain't gonna be enough.
That's not enough
because ain't gonna be enough because we out earned you.
Well, sometimes. That's that wage gap is still.
Well, at the same position doing the same thing. No, we don't out earn.
Right, but in general,
yeah. Because I had a guy once as a enticement tell me how much he was making, and I made about 20 grand more. So I said, "Oh, that's very good for you." And he was talking about how he has this, nice apartment in Buckhead while I own a home. So it's like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
For you that you're renting and throwing good money after bed.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with renting. Sometimes when something breaks, you just want to call the maintenance to come in and fix it.
Homeownership sucks. Don't do it, y'all. I get it. I get it. It's an opportunity. It's the best way to build up generational wealth in this country. But my God, I wish I could call maintenance and have someone for free fix my things.
For free. That's right. But so back to this Tulsa report.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing on it surprised me.
Nothing surprising. We all knew that.
And for anybody that's saying, oh, that happened so long ago, this is one story of many.
Yeah.
Of many.
Because don't get me started about Lake Lanier down here in Georgia.
And there are some that are not 100 years ago. There are some that are 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So learn about American history. Do a little bit of research. Not that hard. Google is there to be your friend.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Fembots. We're going to get into that next. All right, Jay. Fembots. Everybody out there is like, what does he mean by this? Okay. The female companion robots from Realbotics. This Realbotics is the name of the company. The female companion robot from Realbotics named Aria, it
looks like.
Aria is positioned as a highly advanced AI partner designed primarily for companionship and intimate interactions. This robot was stop. I got to read this. Okay. This robot was prominently showcased at the CES 2025 event, where it garnered significant attention for its unique features and capabilities. Just to give y'all a quick breakdown, I'm not going to go over all these notes, but how much does it cost, right? So there's a bust model. It's priced at $10,000. This model includes just the head and the neck. There's a modular version. This version can be disassembled for transportation. It's priced at $150,000. And there's the full standing model, the most advanced option, featuring a rolling base for mobility, is priced at $175,000. The purpose and the usage is, of course, companionship. All right. What are some of the things that you can do? You can physically customize this robot. You can customize its face, its hair, its body features. You can do personality customization, behavior adjustments. Users have the option to modify her interactions with them, including her tone of voice and responsiveness, allowing the robot to cater to individuals' emotional needs. You can customize its emotional interactions. The AI program enables her to engage in conversations that reflect different emotional responses, giving her a more relatable character based on user interaction. There's different interaction modes like social and engagement and intimate conversations. The robot is designed to carry on intimate discussions that can foster emotional bonds, representing a more personal connection that some users might seek from a companion. Yes. So, Jay, men have gone out there. Look, men are so bent out of shape that women don't need them financially and that they got to put up more work.
Yeah.
But they done gone out and created A robot, a female robot.
That you still got to spend money on. Listen. Okay, you're paying for the robot and the maintenance instead of dinner. Like, it's the same.
Like, but they can program the robot to feel exactly what they want physically, and to have the responses to exactly what they want. Basically, everything that they ever want in a woman. Not me, ladies and gentlemen, not me. But some of these alpha males out here, quote unquote, alpha males, have created a way where they can design a woman to say and do and act exactly the way they want. And it's very lifelike.
What happened to phone sex? What happened to that? It is. Sex workers also do that.
Yeah.
So it's just, listen, this is what I hate the most, because I'm on the website. Mm-hmm. Why are the two female robots these clearly Eastern European women, the very attractive Eastern European women, and Hank, the male robot, is this old ass man with gray hair and wrinkles? I don't understand why they didn't make a hot guy. Why did they only make two hot ladies and an old man?
Well,
what are we talking about here?
Men, for just $175,000, you can have your own Fembot and program her to do whatever you want to your desires. I understand how this would appeal to certain men.
And they can have it, because the men who this would appeal to, basically having a companion with zero autonomy, y'all can go ahead and keep that. You are taking yourself out of the dating pool and out of terrorizing flesh and blood women. So y'all go ahead, enjoy. If I see y'all out in the streets, with your real bot, I'm just gonna tip my hat and say thank you for taking yourself out of the running, because absolutely not. Would I like a robot too? Because that's how I pronounce robot. What I like, and everybody hates it, and I can't help it, and it's too late, and that's just how I pronounce robot.
I didn't notice. I didn't notice.
Do I want a robot? Yes, as a butler, a personal assistant, to take care, do my laundry when I don't feel like it, to wash the dishes, vacuum, go get the groceries, things like that. I would love to have a valet or a butler, slave. Essentially. But because this robot is not real, it has no rights. So it's just a tool. It's a tool. Okay. It's not a person. Let's not go into AI and like that movie AI or what was it?
I don't know.
Robin Williams, Bicentennial Man.
We're
not giving robots rights. Okay, we're not doing that.
Well, if they evolve and they start to have emotions,
too damn bad. You are still a program. You are a program. It doesn't matter how. Listen, it doesn't matter how good the AI is. It is not. What's the word? It's not capable of independent thought. It's not sentient. Mm-hmm. It's not sentient. It can only draw from the information that's available to it. It's not always going to give you the right answer. It doesn't have the capacity for creative thought.
Okay, hold on. Because this is how technology and AI works. Yes, in a way that you're right. It can only learn from the information that's given, but that's also human beings, right? We can only learn from the information that's given. As we are given more information, our thought evolves. AI is going to do the same thing.
No,
what they might not be able to evolve is emotion.
No, we are capable of abstract and creative thought.
Who's to say that AI won't develop this? Or who's to say that AI won't develop this?
In order to get it, they would have to be sentient. We can have this conversation. That's not what we're talking about right now. Right now, we're talking about loneliness, and honestly, the power of loneliness. Mm-hmm. The all-encompassing, comprehensive power of loneliness. that it can, take people to some pretty interesting places. If this cuts down on human trafficking, that also would be great.
Yeah, so that's a fantastic, I never thought about that. That's a fantastic byproduct of having Fembots.
Yeah. You can just purchase the thing to do the things. You don't have to, subject a real person to this. So, yeah, all right. But, yeah, all right. I don't see a downside to it, honestly.
Oh, absolutely see a downside to it.
No, it takes certain people out of the dating pool. They ain't got no business being there. It could have, implications on people's mental health, societal implications, cultural. I can see it. What's the downside?
The downside is, okay, we are becoming lazier and lazier. As we're becoming, are we becoming more intelligent? I feel like we're getting dumber.
I don't think we're becoming lazier. I think
technology.
We're eschewing human interaction more.
No, I think technology has absolutely made us lazier. You got a robot that vacuums for you.
No, it needs a new part, so I've been having to sweep the floor myself.
Okay, so
it's a nightmare.
You know what people was doing all their lives?
But you could say that about the invention of fire or the wheel or tools for hunting and things like that. Everybody creates tools to make life easier. That is sort of the progression of humanity. We continuously make tools to make things easier.
Yes, hold on. But I don't know how creating fire made us lazy.
No, what I'm talking about is
you just giving a bunch of tools.
It's not making us lazy. First of all, we're coming up with these ideas and we're creating them.
To not have to do the work anymore. I don't have to do no research anymore. I type in what research I need to do. I'm a researcher. I don't have to do no research anymore. I can just type in what information I need, and then I disseminate from that information what the facts are and create my own outline.
Whereas right. So you're still doing the work.
I'm doing some of the work.
No, it's
made it a lot easier.
It's just a step up from the card catalog helping you find a book to give you the information to do. It's the same thing. You're doing the same thing. It's just you don't have to go anywhere.
What about audiobooks? People are like, yeah, I read a book the other day. I was like, oh yeah, what you read? I was listening to this book. I was like, well, that's not reading. That's listening. That's not the same thing.
What's the difference? They're still getting the information.
Yeah, you're getting the information, but
they're still getting the story.
There is something about reading that teaches you about reading comprehension. You need to be able to see the words, read the words, understand the words.
No, I'm still comprehending them. Even there's something to be said about auditory comprehension.
Yes, there is, but you didn't read. You listened. You listened to a book. You didn't read the book.
I don't see the difference. This is coming from a person who dedicated years of her life to literature. I'm telling you, there's no difference between reading a book physically and listening to an audiobook.
Look, I have had this debate with several people, and I'm going down this hill. And all the people that listen to audiobooks say all the time, it is reading. It is not reading. When you're teaching your kids to learn to read.
Yes.
Are they going to just listen to the audiobook? Or are you going to be like, you need to open this book and sound out these words?
Nobody is saying that they're reading. We're saying that it's comparable to reading.
No, people are saying they're reading a book.
Well, they're not saying it correctly. They listen to an audiobook. Yeah. Yes, I do. They listen to an audiobook. But you still get the content of whatever it is, whatever the literature is. So it is comparable to reading the book. It is.
I agree to disagree. And for all those people that's going to be in my DMs and the messages in the comments, I don't care if you don't agree. I don't care. Yeah. This is what I believe. I don't care what you believe. This is what I believe. It's not reading.
And I'll tell you, as a data scientist who's got 2 classes next semester dedicated to generative AI, I see AI as a tool.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people look at it as something more than just a tool. A lot of people, when I look at their prompts, their GPT prompts, they're putting in, can you do this and this and this and that? No, the AI can't do all of that. You have it can only, it's only scouring the internet for information. That information might not be correct. The information can't, the AI can't create.
Well, it can create. You can say
it can mimic.
No, you can say create an image, make the image look like this,
and it will scour the internet for samples, and they will compile it, but it will not create something.
Okay. Well, you know about this more than I do because you're taking classes. All I know is I'm prompt master when it comes to AI.
Yeah,
I know exactly what I want.
There is a way to engineer your prompts to get what you need. A lot of people do too much, and they think that AI is a person, and it's not. It is just a tool. These robotics, these real robots, I'm trying to say robots because I know people probably gonna drag me for saying robots, but
yeah, because I didn't know what the hell. I thought you was being funny at first.
No, I say robots, but and people drag me for it all the time. I'm over it. But I don't. I foresee. At first, I was like, "Y'all are ridiculous," but it still is slightly ridiculous. But I personally do not see a downside, except for people who probably already didn't get a lot of human interaction getting even less human interaction.
I don't know. I'm a person who used to get a lot of human interaction, and now I've become not a recluse, but almost.
That's age and experience, honestly. Okay, that's just knowing that outside, every time you step out there, you spend $150 and somebody gets on your nerves. So it's like
every time.
Two things happen. You spend $150 minimum and somebody gets on your nerves. So it's like, if you already know that that's what's going to happen when you step outside, you just be like, you know what? I'm just stay in my house. I'm paying to live here.
Let's go to a bar. I got a bar right here in my house. It's fully stocked. Right here.
Yeah. And I'm paying to live here. I'd like to be here.
Yeah. Right. So. Right. I
get over the initial, I had to talk myself through it. Okay. Get over the initial bias of like, this is just sad and pitiful.
No, I don't think it's sad. Not sad. What do I think? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But not. I find it sad and pitiful. Not the people, but the situation of people thinking, well, this is my best option. Because I'm out there in these streets when I get out there. Mm-hmm. And they are still I talk to them all the time. There are interesting people out there in the world. You can gain a new friend, a new life partner every day. Well, not a life partner, but maybe a friend could be a life partner. Yes. But a new relationship that's beautiful and engaging and helpful with human beings. You can literally do it every day. If I just sit in the park, I could talk to 5 people, and of those 5 people, I might have 2 or 3 new buddies. Yeah. I mean, they're on the outside of the inner circle. They might get to the orbit, right? Or they might, be a couple of light years away to the orbit, of my inner circle. But at the very least, they're in the solar system.
Yeah, but you're operating off the assumption that, one, somebody is comfortable leaving their house. A lot of people don't like doing that. You're also operating off the assumption that people can just talk to people that are around them. A lot of people can't do that.
You're right.
A good movie to watch that should have been dumb, but it was actually very sweet, is Lars and the Real Girl. It stars Ryan Gosling. And it's about, he plays this very socially awkward young man who develops a romantic relationship with a sex doll, a real doll. And it's about him overcoming some of like the social anxieties, awkwardness, some of his trauma things, and the doll was useful for that. I mean, it's a horror movie, but no, Lars and the Real Girl is a comedy. But I was talking about what's that horror movie? It's the doll. and the little girl has the doll, and the doll starts killing people to take care of the little girl. But anyway, the purpose...
The android, I know what you're talking about. The android doll, yeah.
Yeah. The purpose of the doll, though, before the doll, went crazy and started killing people, was to help this little girl get through the trauma of losing her parents.
I understand all of that. And I understand neurodivergence and the spectrum of that. I get it. Just did a whole show about it. Like, I get all of that. I'm also of the idea that by creating these robots and giving them AI to get them to learn human tendencies, we're setting ourselves up for our own doom.
I don't see any difference between these robots and a companion animal.
A companion animal? Yeah. I see a lot of difference. A companion animal can't become smarter than you.
I don't know. My dogs are pretty smart.
Yeah, they're more manipulative. That's
which takes intelligence.
Well, you're right on this one. I'm just saying, hey, look, it's a slippery slope. But we've dug this into the ground, and people don't want to hear us talk about this more. What they really want to hear is more of my take on the fact that you can't admit what you're wrong. But that's all right. We're going to move past that.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Okay. All right.
Everybody got it. When I said it, they got it. The people who are around, who knew what I was talking about, who know the situation, they got it when I said Nancy Kerrigan.
Okay.
Because she is the more famous of the two of those.
No, not anymore. It's Tanya Harding who's more famous. Nobody who knows who Nancy Kerrigan is anymore.
No. I think I said it correctly.
And I think you're wrong. But on that note, what do you want to lead the people with?
Gonna agree to disagree.
That's what you want to lead the people with?
Yeah, sometimes you gotta agree to disagree, pick your battles, walk away. Sometimes it's okay to let people misunderstand you.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, as my sister irritates the hell out of me, I want to thank you for listening. Not listening. I want to thank you. Right. She's irritating me so much I can't do my sign off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew, that was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.